I would have expected her to be in a castle. Oh, that's so fun. When I move my mouse, the perspective shifts. That's so cool. That's the parallaxing. I hadn't really thought about what that actually meant. Sweet, I've always wanted to off a monarch. Viva la revolution. I love that.
She's a princess. People will listen to her because listening to her is in their nature. And when they do, everything will come crashing down.
Oh, so we just don't like her policies. I guess I don't have a choice but to go to the cabin. I can't f off into the woods and live my life there.
Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
I love a dangerous woman. Gotta be honest. I wonder if there's any ending in which you do actually kill her. You squint at the princess while holding onto the blade. I'm gonna squint at her.
The princess, squinting. She squints back. The two of you are gonna do this forever, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
She casually sidesteps your thrust before knocking you to the ground with a single blow from her elbow.
She's reminding me of Uncle Iroh when he's locked in prison. She's clearly been working out down here.
You shouldn't have.
According to the developers of this game, there's about like 580,000 words in this game, and in a single playthrough you'll see about 120,000 of them.
Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
That's a good question. You know, since there are... If in a world that there are infinite possibilities, then you would very likely have a world that is identical or near identical. And the only difference is that you haven't gone into the cabin yet.
If she ended the entire world, why should we even bother? We might as well just walk up to that cabin, break her chains, and let her do whatever she wants. It's all the same in the end.
That, my friend, is nihilism. We're gonna be making peep chili at this rate.
She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us.
I love that before we were hearing the voice of the hero primarily, and now we're just hearing the voice of the broken.
Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
And the game counteracts me immediately.
The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
I would not feel at ease with the smell of incense. I'm actually really allergic to incense. There are some kinds that I think I'm okay with, but at one point, years and years ago, my dad got me Indian incense, which is like those little cones that you burn. And yeah, I'm very allergic to it.
Kneel.
Defy authority.
Oh. The story of a terrible and bountiful god unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's
Unbounded.
not worthy of everything I am or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was.
Shouldn't it just be unbound? Is unbounded even a word? I don't have, you know, the moment to Google that. We're gonna kill her.
Yes. Though your body trembles, struggling to defend itself in the face of the princess's overwhelming will, you finally manage to break through, darting to her side before she can react. The wind of your freedom rushes through you, and you
right, we're
channel into
tiny.
a decisive blow, stabbing into the soft flesh of her ankle and severing the tendons in an act of unyielding defiance.
Forgot about that.
She falls to the floor, crashing unceremoniously to her knees.
That's normally, you know, you see gore, but you never see, like, people never draw or depict the internals of someone unless it's just like their guts spilling out. Seeing bone there is unusual in media. I would hate this. I have a thing with my hands being dirty or just like my skin being dirty at all, and if it's slimy or sticky, that's especially bad. I would be losing my mind in this situation, especially because it seems like it would probably be really humid in like that disgusting kind of way.
The air
I
is
hate
thick.
this.
Its
Yeah,
odor
exactly.
and oppressive violence. And then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red glistening arm free from her bindings.
Ugh, I just cringed bodily at that. Pulling skin off like that is called degloving. I learned about it first in rock climbing class. There are little narrow, deep, round holes in climbing walls that are where you screw in the screws that bind the actual climbing holds to the wall. And you can also use them for like placing anchors for self-belaying, and they always warn you really, really heavily against putting your finger in those holes because they're just finger-sized, and if you fall, you will deglove your finger as it's pulled out of the hole. Ugh, good God, that made me like shiver.
It's now or never. Let's make it a beautiful blaze of glory. With a horrifying squelch, you are unwound.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Also, we have feathers, I guess. Oh my God. And you can see she just clenched her fists. Oh my God, that's so cool. There's so many hands. Oh my God, this would be a nightmare to draw and like draw all the different frames for that. So in 3D animation, in like movie making, nobody usually wants to do the UV mapping or the rigging. And so those are a couple of tasks that they often draw straws for. I feel like drawing the frames for the hand amalgam was probably something that they drew straws for.
It wants this wonderful place to end.
Is it wonderful? We have a table and a dead girl in the basement, and that's it. We don't even have a blanket to turn the table into a blanket fort. This is a sad life. I feel like we would need to find a different way to kill a ghost. But we're gonna try to just kill her instantly.
Hesitation, you lash out with your blade. It's like you're slashing at air. No matter how many times you stab at her, no matter how many angles you strike from, all you manage to do is interrupt her form, the skin of your hand prickling with cold as it passes through, unable to find anything solid.
We have a weird grip on this blade, by the way.
You're adorable when you're confused. But I didn't say you could touch me.
God. I liked her a second ago. I was about to say that I loved her. Okay, team, I'm out of ideas. Thought slay the princess harder.
I'm less interested in why you are, or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls, but I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here.
Can we have a ghost girlfriend? I kind of want a ghost girlfriend. Right? I kind of want to be hitting on her too. I love where her shackle meets her dress. You can just like faintly see the shackle behind the dress.
All I know is there's a hole in my chest. Not the big obvious one that you put there. There's something older and deeper.
I feel bad for her, but I am gonna try to kill her again.
A nagging reminder that I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Maybe you should stop looking for loopholes and try harder to actually slay her.
I think we would need a silver weapon to actually kill her, and apparently this knife is our only option.
But we are trying.
Knife no do. I don't want to bury her bones outside. I want to try breaking the bones. You should definitely be using your booted foot for this and not your bare hand. I mentioned my hand thing earlier. There was one time with my sister that she had just moved out of my parents' place. And she's my older sister. I just happened to move out first, but she had just moved out of my parents' place, and she needed help putting together some of her new furniture. She needed help putting together her kitchen table. And I adore my sister, so I was more than happy to help her, and she fed me for it. And we played some games that evening. But so I go to her place, and we've got the kitchen table upside down on the floor. And so the legs are, once the legs are on, they will be sticking up in the air. Because that's the only sane way to put a table together. So we get all the legs out, and we get all the screws out, and we get all the supplies that we're gonna need out, and we've got them laid on the underside of the table so we can keep track of all of them. And while she organizes the legs and like gets them in the correct position, she tosses some washers to me. And it's just like this little pile of washers that came with the table. And she goes, okay, while I'm doing this, you can separate those and put them on the remaining screws. And I pick up the washers and thank you, Campy, thank you. So I pick up the washers and I slide two of them apart and instantly chuck them down on the table like they've burned me. Pick up my hands in the like stereotypical ew gay position. Like they're up coiled next to my head. And I go, ew, they're oily! And I run to her bathroom to wash my hands. And I just remember her laughing hysterically in the kitchen while I take off for the bathroom and it's sink.
You push through the princess and rush the pile of bones on the floor, swinging your fist down and smashing through what remains of her ribcage. The ancient bones splinter, then crumble, reduced to dust almost instantly.
Those bones aren't me. I'm me.
So how kill? How do?
But it's too little, too late. In her hand, you realize she clutches your still beating heart. It thumps unsettlingly. Did we get her?
Probably not.
Even if we didn't, we've given her something to remember.
See you soon, killer.
I'm afraid you'll never know. As she crushes your precious organ in her hand, everything goes dark, and you die.
The viscera in this game is so well rendered. Like, most people don't think about the, like, fat deposit.
I feel like you're trying to put us on edge. We don't need all this anticipation. We just need this to be over.
I love that the period is on the next line down.
Well, unless you have any specific ideas, I think my vote's the only one.
He's the only one voting, and thus he's the only one that gets a say. Yeah, the hands. Delivery.
I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am.
Again, the period's on a different line. It's obviously just like automated text splitting. But I don't know why they didn't notice and fix that. I'm wondering if the text width is dynamic, like the box that the text goes in is dynamic based on how large your screen is. And like, this is not currently full screen for me. This is actually windowed. They don't have the option of borderless windowed, so it's just a normal windowed mode so that I can see my chat, because that's the only way I can see my chat. So if it's dynamic, that would make sense. But if it's not dynamic, then it's just they didn't catch this. We can also just say nope, which is definitely the me answer. We're gonna say nope and just fuck off into the woods.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense.
That's really cool. So we've got like different kinds of windows, different... Oh, that's extra neat. That's really cool. And you can like see stars beyond the floor. That's freaky. We can throw the blade out the window. My curiosity is terrible for a game like this. I'm gonna throw the blade out the window.
Yes, do it! Seriously. You throw the blade at the window, glass showering the cabin as your weapon flies out into the night.
Why are you licking the carpet? What are you eating? Loa, what are you doing? Loa? Loa? What are you doing? Okay. We're being weird. That's what we're doing.
And then the red, angry slit along the flesh of her thigh, where the blade had been nestled just a moment ago. It's still lodged in her leg,
I hate
emerging
that.
from her knee, hinging up and out of her body like some extra metallic limb.
I hate that. It makes me think of the moment in Emperor's New Groove when Yzma's like, "You weren't expecting this," and starts to pull up her skirt, and it's actually a knife.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
You're going to die now.
With a twist of her knee and a painful
God.
squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
Right? She is supportive. See, this is the mommy that we shall have stepping on us. Please kill me if I ever say that again. Okay. Oh my god, can we? We're gonna flirt. We're gonna try flirting. It doesn't work, and she kills you again, and again, and again, and again. Your memory blurs as your consciousness leaps from life to life to life, holding only snippets of the conflict that transpires. She didn't appreciate the flirting, guys. I don't know what to do. That was the only card that I had to play. I played it as hard as I could, but she didn't like it.
I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it?
I'm excited, girl.
I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it, though. Just you wait. Here we go. Now.
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. Then it erupts. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades.
Oh my god.
A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
I wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting, like, chest blade or... I don't know, not this. Good god. This is taking the Game of Thrones sword chair to a new fucking level. Damn. Give me a girl with a devil tail any day of the week. I love her.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win.
I love her beefy thighs. I love her cloven hooves. I want this woman.
She's...
Like, look at her thighs. How can you not agree with me? Look at the muscle.